So the first job I basically applied to was at KFC. I got rejected. I don't know why they rejected me. Maybe they got scared I was going to eat all the chicken. That was a joke, by the way. Okay, so once I had all of that out of the way, then it got to studies. Okay, so I had to go and do year 11 and 12 in Australia. So year 11 and 12, someone coming from Ghana is going to be like SS2. Hello guys, welcome to Settling in Australia. My name is Kwame and I. Before the year ends, I just thought to do this quick video, okay, so I can share one or two experience in regards to how I settled in Australia, and also share one or two tips so when you guys migrate to Australia, you settling in can be an easy process for you guys. Before the year ends, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are amazing. Thanks for all your support this year. For those that watch this channel and were able to migrate to Australia, I say welcome to Australia. I hope you settle in quickly and I hope everything goes on well for you guys. For those that are in the process of migrating to Australia, please keep your fingers crossed and also touch wood that everything goes on well so you can get the good news early next year, so I can see you guys in Australia very soon. For those that got your visas rejected, I'll say please take heart. Do not lose hope. Just review the reason as to why your visa was rejected. Make sure you are well prepared and reapply again, and I'm pretty sure your visas will be granted. For those that have got high hopes of migrating to Australia, I'll say make sure you do your due diligence, do a thorough research. Okay, coming to Australia is not easy. Getting an Australian visa is not easy, but if you meet all the requirements, okay, and you see yourself to be suitable, you see yourself to be a suitable candidate, just take the action. Get all your documentations ready and take the action, and I'm pretty sure I'll see most of you guys in Australia in 2024. Now let's get into the video. In today's video, I just want to share one or two tips in regards to how you guys can settle in Australia easily when you migrate here. Migrating to a new country is very difficult and there are mixed emotions. So in today's video, I'm basically going to share one or two life experience as to how I settled in Australia easily, and also share one or two tips to help you guys when you migrate to Australia so you guys can settle in Australia easily. Now, when you're coming to Australia, I think everyone's situation is going to be a bit different. Your experience is going to be based on in regards to the sort of visa that you got granted with. But in a nutshell, you migrating to a different country, you're going to have mixed emotions. There are times you're going to feel very happy. There are times you're going to be very lonely and you wish on packing your bags and going back to your home country because of culture shock. But when you give yourself a bit of time, you will settle in easily. There is this famous chart that talks about the emotions of an immigrant settling in a different country. When you go on Google, just search for that and I'm pretty sure you find one of these images. And this chart is true. I basically went through this, and most migrants like myself also goes through this phase. Okay guys, so here is my advice, okay, and I understand everyone's circumstance might be different from mine. Okay, so again, I'm sharing my opinion, so you might agree with me or disagree with me. So guys, one thing to make sure you organize properly before getting into Australia is your accommodation. Okay, so make sure you have that sorted out. So if you have friends and family that are living here, make sure you contact them and ask them if you can spend some time with them once you get here. For example, if you come to study in Australia, make sure you talk to your uni and ask if you can they have like student accommodations available, or they have hostels available. Okay, if you don't know anyone and you are coming at first, make sure you have a lot of money, because accommodation can cost a lot. With my situation, I had family here, so accommodation wasn't a problem. So I remember when I first got into Australia, which was March 2007, I was all excited because, hey, this is me coming to live with my family, and my family was already here since in the 90s. Okay, so we drove straight from Sydney Airport to a suburb called Bankstown, and that's where I lived during most of my stay in Australia. So I already had a family here, so accommodation was already sorted out for me, so that wasn't an issue at all. And in regards to accommodation, guys, just know that you have to move few times, especially if you are coming here to look for your own accommodation. You might not get what you want initially. You need to move few times before you find a permanent location. As I said, for me, I had family here, so accommodation wasn't a problem. So once you have your accommodation sorted out, the next thing to do is to set up yourself. So in regards to setting up yourself, you getting a new mobile phone, you getting a SIM card so you can have an Australian number. You already have an accommodation, so you already have a residential address. Then you can go get your bank account set up. You can get your tax file number so you can apply for jobs. Okay, so once I had all of that out of the way, then it got to studies. Okay, so I had to go and do year 11 and 12 in Australia. So year 11 and 12, someone coming from Ghana is going to be like SS2. That actually got me into the system quickly because I had to learn quickly. And while studying high school too, I had to look for a job, and that's where I found a bit of issue. I had to juggle between work and school, and that became really tough. So whilst I was studying, and this is within the first month as when I got here, I had to go look for a job, okay, to support myself, because living in Australia, you cannot depend solely on family to support you. You need to be able to support you, because here money goes quickly. Even though my family didn't ask of me to go look for a job, I had to take the bold step to go look for a job so I can support myself. So the first job I basically applied to was at KFC. I got rejected. I don't know why they rejected me. Maybe they got scared I was going to eat all the chicken. That was a joke, by the way. The same week I applied at McDonald's, and I got accepted at McDonald's. So those that live in Bankstown, there's this McDonald's on Rickard Road, so in Bankstown. So that's where I got my first job in Australia. And again, I had to learn quickly because I had no ideas in regards to making the Big Macs, the chicken burgers, the cheeseburgers, the quarter pounders, and the rest. I had to learn quickly, and it got to a time that I was really quick in the kitchen. We call it the back area and the front area. So when it comes to the back area, when it comes to making burgers, I was so fast. Okay, and actually spending time at McDonald's opened my eyes a lot. And again, this also helped me integrate into the system much quicker. I am an introvert, okay, so I like to keep things to myself, but when I got here, I found out that the Australian culture wasn't the same. Most people, most Australians are outspoken, most Australians are outgoing, okay, they love to talk, okay, so it took a bit of time for me to learn that. Even when you are talking to someone, you have to make sure you look them in the eye. If you look down, it shows disrespect, or it shows that you are not interested in the conversation, or you are lying. You need to look them straight in the eye and have the conversation. All these things took a bit of time for me to understand. But during all this period, I think it got to a time I was feeling down because I was missing home like crazy. Even though I had family here, living abroad and living back in Ghana wasn't the same. The community feel in Ghana wasn't the same. Everything was fast-paced in Australia. So it got to a time that I was really down, but I had to pick up myself up and integrate myself. So it got to a time, even though I was still studying year 11 and 12, I joined talent advancement program, having the love for music and dance, okay, and that actually helped me a lot. And joining this program, I got to understand the Australian way, and also I integrated myself into the Australian culture much quickly. Okay, so once you stay here for like a year and a half, that's when you start feeling lonely. This is when you need to be strong. This is when you need to talk. Okay, so when you guys come and you start feeling that, oh, this is not working for you, or this is not the place for you, and you want to just pack up your bags and go, do not do that mistake. Okay, this is the time you need to speak out. I did that and it helped me a lot. Okay, I integrated myself into the system by taking on extra curriculums, extra activities, me having the love for music and dance. I did that and it's really helped me. And when you get to that time too, if you have family, make sure you talk to them, make sure you let them know how you're feeling, because people living here more than 2 years, lifestyle is going to be different from you. Okay, and sometimes there is this little issues that if you don't take time, even the person you're living with, you can fight with them. This happens a lot. I know parents that do not talk to their kids once they migrated, all because the way of life back home is different from here. Here, everything is bills, and it's going to get to a time that you need to contribute and pay bills to support the person you're living with. And if you don't take time, you guys will start fighting, and it's not a good feeling. So once you start feeling your lows, make sure you talk to someone. Make sure you integrate yourself into the system. Make sure you speak out. Make sure you go to your community. Even if you need to speak to someone, make sure you do that. Okay, so someone can guide you or someone can help you. And trust me, once you integrate yourself and you get to understand the system, you start feeling the vibe and you'll be able to live comfortably in Australia. Okay, so once you've set yourself up, then the next thing for you to do is to focus on your visa requirements. So in regards to your visa requirements, some visas will allow you to, let's say if you're on a student visa, your visa will allow you to study whilst you work. Make sure you focus on that. And if you have the intention of living here permanently and you want to seek, you want to become a permanent resident in Australia, make sure you follow that. If your visa requires you to work for only 24 hours in a week, make sure you don't go over that, because when you get into trouble, they will send you back home, and this will decrease your chance as you becoming a permanent resident in Australia. Living on a temporary visa is different from living on a permanent residency visa. I was on a temporary visa for a long time. Even when I started studying at uni, I was still on a temporary visa, and trust me, the uni fees is no joke. You have to pay for your uni fees, you need to pay for your accommodation. At that time too, I've moved out from the house and I was living in a shared accommodation with someone. You need to pay for your accommodation, you need to pay for your own food. So this is me studying at uni, work part-time at McDonald's, and I had to do extra gigs so I can pay my uni fee. Luckily enough, I got like a half scholarship, and that supported me a little bit. And I also had a great friend, an Aussie friend, that accepted me. Their family accepted me, and they helped me a lot because I wasn't also driving, okay, and they drove me everywhere, so that also helped me a lot. Again, make sure you have some great friends that can support you along the way. If you need support, ask for help, because trust me, living on a temporary visa is not easy as compared to a permanent visa. And if you want to gain your permanent visa, make sure you follow all the rules and regulations in regards to your visa, so that can help you to gain your permanent visa when the time comes. So again, in regards to me, I was doing multiple jobs at this time, but I did not give up on McDonald's because I loved working there. They gave me a job security. Every time they needed an extra hand, I was there to help out, and that helped me a lot. And anytime I'm not working at McDonald's too, I got extra gigs, okay? And all these supported me. life was really tough. Trust me, when you're on temporary visa, because you don't get a lot of like benefits like Medicare and the rest, and life was kind of tough. But once you become a permanent residency, you get access to healthcare and more other benefits, and that will actually make life easier. Now let's talk about money. Most Africans make this big mistake. So when we migrate to Australia, we tend to live two lives. Living in Australia is not cheap, guys. Everything is bills. You need to pay for everything. You need to pay for your rent, you need to pay for your food, electricity, gas, water. It's a whole lot, okay? Your transport and everything is money. But most of us too, when we get here, then we trying to also support home. I know most people are going to disagree with this, but trust me, it's the honest truth. Sometimes we need to set ourselves so we have like solid grounds here before we can support people at home. Once people migrate to Australia, from day one they start supporting family at home. I'm not saying do not support, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying you should take care of yourself here, because I've seen a lot of people that are depressed. I've seen a lot of people that are in high debt because one, they cannot afford to live here, okay? Because once you do your jobs, you pay your uni fees, you pay your rent, you are left with a little bit of money. And trust me, family back home too are going to be demanding, but you need to be honest with yourself and you need to be honest with them and tell them the truth that things here are not that easy. Okay, so most Africans or most people should make sure you have like a solid grounds. Make sure you have solid grounds here in Australia before you start helping people at home. If you can send, if you take you get paid, you take all your bills and there's some left and you want to send to your family, fine, but make sure you take care of yourself here first. Almost 90% of Australians are in debt. The bills here are crazy, and those back home too, do not think that once someone migrate to like overseas, migrate to one of these Western countries, they are rich. That is not the case. Everything, almost everything here, you can use finance to pay. Okay, even your mobile phone, you can pay it monthly. Even when you go get a car, you see people driving posh cars, they are paying in installments. Okay, you can pay monthly, so do not let that deceive you. Everything here you need to pay, and most people here are in high debt because they take out loans so they can just support people back home, or they can start a project back home, so they are living two lives. Once you have solid grounds here, then you can support family back home. Okay, so now let's talk about Australian culture. Australians are friendly people, trust me guys. You'll be walking on the streets, and when you say hello to someone, 100% they are also going to respond. Australians love to talk. They are friendly, they love to talk, they are very laid back, okay? They are very casual. You can be walking on the street and you see people with no slippers or with no thongs on. Isn't this amazing? They love to share jokes. I didn't get most of the jokes at first, but with time, yep, I got to understand. One thing I also struggled with was the slang. Yes, we speak English in Australia, but trust me, the Australian slang is amazing. They basically have a shortcut for most of the English words, and it's not funny. Almost every word, they have their own version of it, and with time you get to understand. So when I came here first, I remember talking at work, and sometimes when I was talking to them, they spoke really fast, and I had to be really quick and put together the last words they said so I can reply back. And this is me pardon most of the time when they spoke to me, but with time I got to understand. The longer you start making friends and the longer you start speaking, that is when you get to understand most of the slang. It's okay if you don't understand, just tell them you are new, and trust me, they'll go slow on you. Some parts in Australia, they've got this heavy Australian accent, and most parts too, it's not too heavy. Australians love their sports. In summer, they love their cricket, okay, and in winter they love their football. And no, I'm not talking about soccer, because I know when I say football, most people from Africa think of soccer. No, I'm talking about the NRL. Okay, so they play the football with their hands and legs. And trust me, with time, you will also be integrated into their sports, their love for sports here. So I go for the Bulldogs. There's something called the States of Origin too. And trust me, when it gets to this time, almost every Australian TV is on and everyone will be watching the States of Origin. Australians love their sports. When it comes to racism and discrimination too here, Australians are not racist and they hate discrimination. So you cannot discriminate against genders. It's a no-no. You cannot discriminate against straight people or gays or lesbian. It's a no-no. And I actually haven't encountered any racism since I got here. I'm not saying there's no racism in Australia, but for me personally, I've not encountered any. But hey guys, there is racism anywhere. When it comes to religion too, most Australians are not religious, okay, but they also do not stop you from bringing your own religion here. When you come here, you can come and worship the sort of religion you worship in. There's a lot of Christians here, there's a lot of Muslims here, there's a lot of Hare Krishnas here. You can bring your own religion here and Australia will accept you, but most Australians are not very religious. I'm going to end it here, guys, but what I'll say is Australia is a beautiful country, guys, but when you come here, allow yourself to settle in, okay? If you need help, try and ask for a helping hand, and trust me, someone will be there to help you. Traveling overseas is not as easy as most of you think, okay? There are days you are happy, there are days you are feeling very lonely, because the system here is different from the system back home. With those that have not had the opportunity to reply to your emails, please stay with me. I go on a first come first serve basis. I took a month off, so I have tons and tons of emails to go through, so please bear with me. I'm going to reply to your email very soon. If this is the first time you're coming on this channel, please show some love and click on that subscribe button so you do not miss out any future videos. If you love this video, please comment below, and this will help the YouTube algorithm to promote this video. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you guys in 2024. Bye.